Okay. So remember, 2002 Tahoe 5.3 Vortec, non-supercharged. Bummer. So I'm just going to guide myself so when I do talk over, I know what I was doing. Intake's simple. If I got to show that on camera, I shouldn't open the hood. 2 clamps, slide it off. It's not worth wasting a fraction of a battery to show that. So if you can't figure that out, stop what you're doing. NOx sensors, intake gasket, throttle body, cleaning, tune up, and more to follow. All the notorious the tow switch. Edit that cuss word out. The notorious tow switch, which is probably going to be the wire cut, which these things are notorious for. 8mm bolt, doesn't come all the way out, just turns until it's undone, then pull straight back. It has 2 little round tabs going to there. That's how it holds itself in. Thank God they didn't over-engineer it and put 14 bolts in it. A lot of companies have done. This one, it's really not that hard, but it's time consuming because what you got to do. The only special tool you're going to need is the 3/8 field line tool. You can kind of do it without it, but it's kind of a pain and all that crap. Just don't forget to bleed the field line first, or you're going to do rain dancing like Tommy Boy did in his movie with the gasoline. And actually, the nozzle is on this other side. I'm going to take you on a tour. That's right. Let's use the technology of zoom. Right there. Oh, right there. There's your bleed. So if you forget to do that, you may catch some feel to the face. And it really doesn't feel good. I mean, you think it does some good cleaning. It's not good. Throttle body's filthy, common. Most cars people don't clean it. So that's going to get taken care of. If you're going to take it off, then why not clean it? I don't really recommend cleaning it on the cars. Most of them, it's a simple O-ring gasket, and if you're doing it within like 3,000 or 6,000 miles, a lot of the gaskets, you can reuse them. They're just rubber or silicone gaskets, but if they've been on this one's probably never been off the vehicle, then you definitely just get another one. They're only like $6, $7 for the gasket, so it's simple. And it's just 3 to 4 bolts, usually 10mm, comes off. I don't think this one has the issue. Some vehicles can be a pain. Make sure you disconnect the battery. This one's not that way, but they have to relearn the idle. So sometimes if you just disconnect the battery, you can avoid that. Other than that, just do your research on which throttle bodies you pull off in your car, just to double check. And if you have to do the relearning process, follow that directions. You can pretty much find anything on YouTube. So I mean, I'm sure somebody even has a missing sock video on YouTube. There's not much not on YouTube you can't find, so do research. Somebody, or just go on Google and look in the forums. It's not rocket scientist. Of course, I'm doing the video. My phone loves to ring. It waits until I literally hit record to get spam calls. Gotta love this shit. We can't fix that in this country yet. Spark plugs are way down there. This one it's actually simple, but the only thing that makes it challenging is unless you're a basketball player, you're going to be reaching and leaning over defenders and all that crap. It sucks because they made the engine mount so low, which is good for handling, but the bummer side is it's way down there. If you're under 5'8", get a big step stool, get a rappelling harness, hook yourself up to something, cherry picker or something that can support your weight, because you're going to be diving head first into that. So make sure you have your safety harness. And you might want to consider a life jacket if you forget the fuel line bleeding. Other than that, I feel sorry for you if you're under 6 foot, really. I mean, this sucks because they're in open spaces. So let's just pick. I'm gonna pretty much leave all this stuff on. It's deceiving because it looks like you got to take all this crap apart. You really don't have to. You can slide this intake, which you're gonna see. I'm gonna do it kind of 007 stealth style. So 95% of this stuff, I know the little trick. It'll slide it underneath it all. Fuel line has to be disconnected. The brake booster, that hose right there, you want to disconnect that. What else? The EGR, which I'll show you. Just don't have to take that off taking the intake off, but it's best to take it off, put the intake on. It's harder to get it tucked underneath all this wiring crap, so it's easier just to take it off. That's an O-ring, I believe, gasket, so make sure you order that like I had to, because of course your local parts store won't have it. It'll be the one all the way across town, so plan on that. Just like I got half the spark plugs and waiting on the other half. What else? It's pretty simple. There's another little hose here that just comes off. This is your come on. Now this vehicle I'm gonna watch closely because these are probably all original hoses, so if they're loose, cracked, hardened, this would be the time to replace them, and don't half-ass it, because if you do, you're gonna do the work, then you're gonna start having an idle problem and BS, and you're not going to know if it was something you did or all the other crap, when it was just an old hose that was tight before you took it off, and then once you took it off, it of course doesn't reseal right. So this one, I'm probably going to replace it. It is rock hard right there. It does have softness right here, so might end up replacing it. We'll see when I go to put it back on if it's tight. I'm going to double check it, but that one's already 50-50 chance could get replaced, because it's, once they harden up, it shouldn't feel like it's plastic, it's rubber, for God's sake. So don't mess with any of this linkage. When you take the throttle body off, that'll pop out. Just put it off to the side. The less you disconnect, the better. Older vehicles, you're asking for trouble the more shit you disconnect. And then guess what? You pay for it, because try explaining to the customer this shit. Edit that cuss word out. Disconnecting the throttle body harness. One there. There's one down here. Right here. There's one here and one here. Simple little tabs. Pull up, pull out. So, kind of hard. I got sausage fingers. But just pull out and it pops out. So simple as that. There's your throttle body crap. So this stuff can just stay there. Should be fine. I see a problem with this already. This is loose as a goose. Well, if you see that, it's got an O-ring on it. Willing to bet that right there is causing crappy gas mileage and everything else anonymously too. That's one of those hidden creepers right there. I just found real loose. Normally that may not be a problem, but if the O-ring, that's probably got an O-ring gasket, so I guarantee that thing's leaking. This is the bag of worms. If you're dealing with a customer or friend or good buddy and you're getting paid for it, you always want to tell them if it's over 100,000+ miles, depending on how you feel, but there's going to be possibly extra crap you're going to run into. Prime example, most of the stuff's original. These plastic lines can break even if you barely touch them. Is it your fault you broke it? Yes, but it's not really your fault, because he's bringing you an engine that's 100, 200, 300,000 miles on it. So it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you're dealing with old brittle lines. So yeah, buddy. I'm going to take this sensor wire off, pretty much this whole thing, and I'm going to swing this whole harness out of my way. That's my plan. Like I said, it's a plan. Doesn't mean it's going to happen right, but it is a plan. Before you do all this, you should disconnect the battery. Okay, that's a huge one. Don't forget to disconnect the battery. And if you do like I did and forgot, do it now before you go any further. That's what's cool about doing videos, because sometimes you'll remind yourself to undo the battery. This job, I don't really say it's necessary, but when you're doing all those nice fancy plugs right there, I would not take the chance of frying a ECM or anything else. So just be smart, undo the battery. Should be an 8mm unless you got unfactory plugs or special plugs, special needs. Who knows what your story is, but figure out what size your negative battery post is and just take it off. Okay, this one's off. Here, I got proof. I just took it off. Right there. Factory's 8mm. Negative side, never the positive. Okay, now we're free to short anything out and not have to worry about consequences and paying out of pocket for it. So, there's another tab hidden. There we go. So now we got the whole harness free. That is gonna need to get out of the way. Out of the way. Okay, that's out of the way. Man, this whole thing is loosey goosey. So we're continuing on. Let me get some tools, check the battery level on the cam, and then I'll come back and bore you some more. Alright, what I'm doing is disconnected the throttle lines. I decided to do it. You don't have to. I just want to pull this whole throttle body off. So on this one here, there's this little, where is it? Right here, my thumbnail is. It's a little plastic horseshoe looking clamp. So you have to take a little screwdriver on one side, the other side, pry them a little bit, and then it'll pop off the throttle body. The other side, pull the throttle out, up, and then work it out, slide it out this way, and then the cable will come off. So now you got it fully disconnected. Underneath, you're going to have one line that's got your antifreeze from your radiator, and you have your out. I put a cap on it so it doesn't leak all over the place. I put the line in the reservoir here, and then there's another one that's right down here. Hard to see with the lighting. Let's see if I can get to see it. Yeah, it's right there. That's the other rubber line right there. Just take the clamp off. For me, you can take a bolt, screw, whatever. I'm just using this, put two in there, and I'll shove it in there, and then I'll keep it from leaking all over the place. Throttle body has 3 10mm nuts, one there, one down there, and one down here. And then this whole piece will come off, but I'm going to take those lines off. Let me do that real quick, and I'll come back. Just got to pull the right side off. See if I can put this in a better position. You can see. Right there. Sorry, I'm trying to. I don't think we're able to see that well. So pull the throttle body off. Last line. Well, it's off. Put the plug in it so you don't lose all the antifreeze. Save you some money. And now you can see what I'm talking about. Right here. There's your 3 studs. There's your lower antifreeze. And then your upper, I have it going to this gasket. Just pulls right out. It's rubber size. Rubber. We'll seal. Oops. Add that shit out. It's bad focus. So this one's old, but this pulls right out. A lot of times you can reuse these. I'm not going to because I don't know the age of it. It's definitely got some heat. So these simple replacements, take a towel, clean it up. But that's going to allow me to clean this throttle body. If you think that was dirty, look at that. That's what you can't see. And this is why I don't recommend cleaning throttle bodies when they're on the cars, because you cannot get to the back side. So there it is there. I'll come back here in a minute. Firefighter! Alright, so we're back to these bolts off. That's the bracket for the wire harness. Take that off. Unplug all the injectors. Here's the injector plug, easier to show when it's off. You pull this gray piece up, it's facing like this. Pull this gray piece up and then you press on it and slide it off. Do it to all 8 of them. But you're going to pull the injectors and the gas rails, all that together. Make sure you pull the 2 fuel lines. You have your return and your in. So, in the very back, there is plugs. Right there, there's a plug. Make sure you're going to do that. Undo all your plugs. And then pull the intake. Stuff I didn't show because it's kind of common sense. There it is. It takes out, and this one is filthy. Filthy, filthy, filthy. See this, but yeah. There's your knock sensors. 1, 2. There's 2 of them there. So I got to clean up all this. I mean, you don't have to take time and clean all the pan and everything else and the heads if you don't want to, because it only connects to the ports. I'm gonna pretty much clean as much as I can. So these are just little caps right here. Pull these up. So, careful with the wire. Okay, and I need to get some needle nose for this. So let me go grab. Let me try these. Best one of the angles to try to get in there because you got to pinch these plugs. I'll try to get a good view of it. So. There. So I'm going to try to get this in here. This one's a little on the small side for doing this.
squeeze and pull it. It's gonna be really hard to do it with one hand. I don't know if I could pull it off. I'm gonna try to wedge the camera somewhere. I'm gonna see if I can pull this off. I don't think it's gonna happen. Here it goes. Now we're gonna go get this other one out of here. It's buried under all this goo. Ashes from Hawthorne in here. Old. Terrible. Need to hire a cameraman for this. Come on. And clean the wire. Probably a good idea. You need to slide up this wire. So, hopefully. Oh, well, this sucks. Goes the adder. So I'm just gonna pull the other one off cam because I can't hold this cam like that. Okay, got it all cleaned up, ready to go. It's got one sensor in, and just gotta clean up the intake itself, get the throttle body, and get the other sensor in. Right, battery's almost dead. It's cut off, I didn't realize it, got it all back together, everything bolted on. The throttle body's cleaned out completely, got it done, both sides, new gasket, evap solenoid, it's right there. Okay, got that replaced. So now I'm just going to put on the intake back on. It's just 2 clamps, very simple. And then engine covered, and before I even started I got the fuel pump relay pulled, which is, I'll just show you it right here.